Morning, everybody. Welcome to Lockpod Season 10, Episode 17. This episode brought to you by Byway Brewing.
I'm in the Midwest.
Oh, yeah, the Midwest Most Dangerous Podcast.
Thank you. I love that tagline.
I do, too. Byway Brewing is host of today's sponsor. They welcome you to their spacious tap room and to enjoy award-winning craft beer, chef-driven menu, and craft draft cocktails. Byway's unique brewing equipment and production facility provides a perfect backdrop for private events with their new food truck. They can now cater to your events offsite. Visit Byway just off of I-8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Discover more at bywaybrewing.beer. Today's Season 10, Episode 17's episode sponsor.
We found out that Jill is going to be in Portugal.
What?
You guys knew this, actually.
I didn't know where, though.
I
I don't think I knew like when or where you're
I
going
knew.
to Portugal.
When I was in Portugal before, so it struck a chord with me when you said that.
Oh,
You're going to Lisbon, right?
we're starting there, yeah.
Whoa,
Yeah.
That's going to be fun.
I was there in the Navy.
We went. Jill's going to have to Skype in.
Interesting
It's going to have
fact,
to happen.
when I was in Lisbon, Portugal, Governor Holcomb, who was also enlisted in the Navy, was in Lisbon, Portugal at the same exact time as me. Him and I deduced that.
That is very cool.
Yeah, really cool. He was intelligence, Navy intelligence. He was stationed there. I was visiting on my submarine, and we were there at the same time.
Wow.
And he was, I don't know, we were probably about the same rank. It's a funny thing.
Didn't our UFO guy say that like the Office of Navy Intelligence doesn't exist or something?
No, he had a different name for it. There was two
DNI versus ONI or something.
Yeah,
It's
something
like, do
that.
you realize what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm
Tom's like,
fuck,
I don't
have
know.
no idea what
Like,
I'm saying.
whoa.
I'm going to get killed, dude. Fucking imprisoned. I have no idea what I did wrong.
This thing on the bottom left of a video. That,
I got nervous when he said that. You know what you're saying now, right? I'm like, no, I don't know what I'm saying.
I think
right
that was
now.
all part of it. It was like, whoa.
Dude,
okay.
this guy the other day, Joe, comes in, and then I wasn't trying to be a dick or anything. I was just like, why does UFOs always land in rural parts? And he's like, right off the bat, an antagonistic question. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, and he was like I was joking with him. I said, "Oh, so you're gonna wrestle an alien?" And he was like, "Ha ha!" And I'm like, "Oh, apparently this is all very all very serious."
Yeah, it was a bit of a tense interview at times.
He's intense.
Yeah.
He believes what he's doing.
Yeah.
I think
He's
so.
got to get questions like that all the time, though.
So maybe like
it can't be the first
maybe his
time
thing is
someone
just like
asked him
attack
that.
him, like
Dude,
attack
I
the
know.
other people.
He was like pissed right off the bat at me. I'm like, God damn, dude. I'm like, call me skeptical. I mean, I actually do believe we're not the only people in the entire universe. Like, but
I'm
I
just
do
not
notice
sure that that's an alien interview.
it's always Billy Bob that's drunk on Jack Daniels that sees these UFOs. That's all I'm saying. Why don't they land in the loop and just put it to rest?
Like Lindsay said, "Did you see the video of Friendship Indiana?" He's like, "No."
right.
And Lindsay's like, "Oh."
It's just like he was
like,
not.
what?
And Lindsay was his ally.
I know,
It's like
I
you're
know.
alienating your one ally in the studio.
Alienating.
That was
Yeah.
oh, look at that.
Yeah.
By the way, he was a great guest.
Yeah,
and,
he was
very
awesome.
interesting. And Steve did a great job getting him on. So
Mhm.
We're going to have him back talking about
We
Bigfoot.
have to because we didn't even
right.
cover Bigfoot.
Are we just going to
Sasquatch.
hit like all the different made-up things
This
in
is
the
the
world?
stuff that he studies. He studies UFO and Bigfoot.
I don't know. You think I don't know. Is
If
it
I
profitable?
retire, dude, when I retire, I'm gonna check it out. I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'm going hard.
You're going hard. You're going to be like, that's an antagonistic question when anyone ever questions
just appear on
you.
podcasts around the country.
Yeah.
I can't like go after this guy's livelihood though. I got to figure out another unique angle to attack.
Something else.
Yeah, some other conspiracy theory.
Well,
I'm sure you can find one.
I know. We need to work on this.
You know,
We're
he's-
changing our genre for this podcast.
Well,
Yeah, we
we
just
just
like
start a
X-Files
competing
or-
podcast. It's going to be on Wednesdays and Saturdays, actually.
not about UFOs though. You have to find a new angle. By the way, speaking of questions and answers, our good mayor just got through a 2-hour deposition in the Spiros case yesterday.
Whoa.
That's right. It was
That's
2
a long
hours.
time.
Finally.
And then I thought it was actually going to be 2 hours, and little did I realize we took multiple breaks. It was a freaking.
It was like it ended up being like a little under 2.5.
So like,
because
how
of
does, do you
breaks.
bring snacks for something like
No,
that? How does
no
that
snacks.
work?
Yeah.
Black coffee.
I had little fruit snacks.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
The
fruit
ones
by
with
the
juice.
foot.
The ones with the juice in the middle. You bite them and then.
Oh, the gushers.
Oh, God,
Delicious.
yeah. Hell yeah.
So you were there, Kevin?
I was there as a representative of the city.
Yeah, dude. It was not a cheap day. There was multiple lawyers in that room.
Wow.
All
But
because of Lockpod.
Lawfare.
Eh.
Yeah.
yeah, it did actually start because of Lockpod, didn't it?
Not really. I mean, I would have said that regardless of where I was. It just happened to be on Lockpod.
Yeah, so Mayor did a good job. I think he was well prepared.
Why do you say that? Because you prepared me. I think he was well prepared. He was definitely well prepared.
One of the
Kevin's like,
several.
be careful
attorneys that prepared
scratching
you.
and patting yourself on the back there, big guy.
Well, speaking of patting themselves on the back, some of my favorite quotes of the deposition
Oh, wow.
were, this goes without saying that the mayor is charming, but he said at one point, I'm very charming.
No, I didn't say that. I did not. See, you're going to be able to read the
I
transcript for
feel like
yourself.
if you have to tell people that, you're not.
Because Jill, I was being a dick yesterday in the deposition.
What?
That's why I
That
pointed
is not
it out.
true. You were
I was
being polite.
So I'm like, believe it or not. Well, we're talking about behavior that I exhibited that was dickish towards
Sure.
Mr. Batistatos.
Sure.
Okay, because I'm normally, even though I realize there's a lot of people that have flaws and have done things, I don't normally point it out to the entire world like I did in his case.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and So I was being dickish in regards. I imagine the lawyer for Spiros thinks I'm a dick. How about that?
I don't know about that. I thought you were pretty charming. And I thought
Yesterday
you
I
were
was charming.
polite.
Yesterday
and
I
you were,
was totally polite.
Yeah.
And everything I heard about this lawyer was she's a total badass, like tough. So I'm like, God damn, I'm going under oath with this lady, and she's gonna like come after me. And
The good thing is, Mayor's a lawyer, right? So that's number one. And number two, he was ready. And the other thing, this is interesting too. Like they have to ask questions like, so when did you first start disliking Spiros? And he's like, maybe like.
Yeah.
Is like, or when did you first meet him? 25, 30 years ago?
Well, one of the first questions, she goes, do you like Mr. Batistatos? And I go, not really.
And Spiros,
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, right?
Spiros was on Zoom.
Yeah, he's listening, right?
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
then she's like, well, why? Why don't you like Spiros? And I'm like, give me an example of why you don't.
Right, on and on. So it was good. He did a good job.
What did you say to that?
I came up with one that Kevin didn't even, I don't even know.
I forgot about it, actually.
I came up with one where Hammond was flooding and Spiros called me up, and Spiros' building was flooding too, which is unfortunate. I'm not thrilled, and of course anybody is upset when the Visitors Bureau is flooding like it was, right? But he called me up and he was harassing me to get a police officer to drive him around the city and show him all the damage. And I'm like, Spiros, like we're flooding. We're flooding. I'm not going to have a police officer take him off duty to drive the Convention of Visitors guy around to show him the flooding damage. I'm just not doing that, right? And we weren't fighting during this. We were like getting along during this period of time, but I'm just like, what the hell is the matter with you, Spiros?
I think Tom described it as a slow burn. I think
It was a slow burn. Yeah, it was like it happened over time. I didn't hate Spiros when I first became mayor. And then it just was a slow burn, just watching this guy operate in public and how he did his business and how he treated the city of Hammond. And it's my job to protect the city of Hammond. I came to not like him very much.
The other thing I thought was interesting was, and I've never seen this on Zoom, Spiros was able to put a tropical paradise of his backdrop without showing his face.
Why am I not surprised by that?
So it's just like this tropical paradise that said Spiros Batistatos underneath it.
Yeah.
I was like, that's pretty cool.
Is it Portugal?
Maybe. I know. I don't know. It looked pretty cool, but
Kevin, in a deposition when your client goes off book,
Mm-hmm.
as mayor did, how much do you freak out when he starts talking?
he didn't. Actually,
I did. That
actually,
was off book.
Yeah, it was, but it wasn't necessarily like
No,
off the rails. It was actually
No, but you were probably nervous. 'cause
illustrative.
You didn't hear that
I knew the story.
Okay, David was probably nervous about
probably. Yeah, I knew the story. So I knew where he was going.
Because normally I know you have a pretty good, because you go through that prep. So you're pretty prepared for what's going to come. And I have to say, I was really well prepared. I knew probably
We're
where
not
she
going
was
to talk
going,
about.
right?
We're not going to talk about the actual preparation, but yeah.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
But I knew I had a pretty good idea where she was going to go, and she went where we thought. And then, so Joe, getting back to your question, she asked, come up with reasons why you don't like him. And I'm like, wow, we didn't really go into reasons why I don't. So I had to think under oath, and I came up with a great one, man. It was one I haven't talked to Kevin about probably since it happened.
Yeah.
It was the flood one.
But I remembered it.
And then the other one I came up with, there was two I came up with. The other one was the microphone incident at the festival.
Yes.
Oh, I remember that.
You remember that because
Yeah.
yeah.
So witnessed that.
So I told both of those stories under oath.
And they can't ask what color underwear are you wearing. It's a limited.
Yeah, in
I
this
have lawyers
case,
too, John. So my lawyers are there to protect me.
In this
Right.
case, it was limited by the court, John.
And
a
it's
lot of
pink,
times
by
it's
the
limited by the rules of court, by the rules. But this was limited by an actual court order.
Yeah,
So it was, but it's done. It's over with, and we're gonna, mayor's gonna keep moving and see where the
lots
case
of
goes.
questions about Lockpod, man. Wow.
Yeah, Lockpod was a significant
Why are they
part.
so obsessed with us?
That would make one person.
Yeah, yeah. She was asking how many people listen to our shows and how many people listen live.
like,
Tom said
Five.
Tom said millions.
Did he?
Millions around-
No.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I said thousands around all around the country, all around
Did
the
you
world.
say we're number one in Belgium?
No, I didn't. That was our old tagline.
Perfect opportunity.
I did say we were the most dangerous.
No,
No, I didn't say that.
but good job getting through it, and one more step in the case.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else we wanted to bring up on that.
I think we're good.
Kevin's like gag order
Remember,
Kevin.
people listen to the show to get information.
They got a
remember?
lot.
Oh, yeah?
You got a lot.
Can
They
you
found
not
out-
talk about that? Is like, are you not allowed to talk?
No.
It's going to be publicly available. It's going to be on the front page of the newspaper because, I think I did a good job, and I'm hoping that, I'm hoping that good things happen legally because, quite frankly, I was attached for political reasons. I wasn't attached, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. It was a political retaliation to put me in this case, and it was trying to intimidate me, and so I wouldn't talk.
Silence
publicly.
you.
Yeah, my free speech rights are being attacked by Spiros. He's trying to intimidate me by suing me and using taxpayer money to do it. Well,
that's
not
what,
really.
that is a big part of the case, and it's really interesting about that. Is we were talking about that after the deposition yesterday, outside and just chatting about it, and it's like, yeah, this is what this case is all about. It's about whether or not free speech can be squashed.
Yeah,
for political reasons.
Think about that, Jill. As mayor, if I have let's say George in Hammond, he constantly, and I'm not going to say bad things about George. I'm just saying he's a frequent critic. He's always got an opinion. I appreciate George, okay? And let's say that George was doing something I didn't like, and I wanted to intimidate him from speaking up at every council meeting, and he does. He speaks at every council meeting about every topic, and he's a smart man, okay? So let's say I wanted to intimidate George, and I didn't want him to speak anymore, so I file a lawsuit. Maybe George says something that's technically not right? And about me, and I file a lawsuit against him from using City Hammond resources. I file a lawsuit against George to intimidate him from not speaking against me ever again. And it would probably work.
Well, let's just use this, that you're the most corrupt official in Lake County, that you're a petty piece of crap. How about let's just use those as examples?
Okay, he uses that, which I used against Sparrows. So, like,
I'm just saying, that's why.
Yeah, so George says that about me, and then I say, okay, you know what, George? Go out and get yourself a lawyer and defend yourself against a lawsuit from the mayor. And I use the resources of my office to intimidate him and to shut him up. And it would work because George would be like, this is BS. I speak up against the mayor. He sues me, and now I have to get a lawyer and probably spend $10,000 to clear my name. He would probably be successful eventually, but he would learn his lesson. And he would never speak up against me again, which would give me the power as mayor to intimidate the hell out of all of my constituents and deny them their civil liberties if I wanted to. This is all hypothetical, obviously. That's illegal. That's what Spiros is doing to me. He's trying to intimidate me because I was telling the truth. I was bringing things to light that he didn't want to come to light, so he sued me as the head of the CVB.
Or, even if, let's not, I think, again, we're talking in hypotheticals here, but let's not even say like you were telling the truth.
This
let's
is
say
hypothetical.
Let's say you were criticizing him through, calling him names and doing this and doing that. That's still within your free speech.
Yes.
So, it's not about,
I'm a Lake County taxpayer. I'm a Lake County mayor. I'm a Lake County business owner. I have opinions about how taxpayer money spent.
And he's a public figure.
He's spending taxpayer money. He's a public figure. I have the right to say things about that.
Right, and whether or not it's the quote-unquote the truth versus just
it was the
hyperbole.
Truth,
I'm
it
just
was
saying,
the truth, though.
You can call him names.
They were getting
do
into
cartoons about him.
So they were saying things like, you said he made $330,000 a year. I'm like, okay. And they're like, well, actually, it was $329 or something. And I'm like, well, you know what? Sometimes I use round numbers, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes because we're dealing with big numbers here, and it doesn't have to be to a penny exactly right. I normally do that. People say, how much do you make, Mayor? I say $160,000 a year. And somebody would research, and they're like, he makes $162,000 a year. He lied to me.
That's not all the benefits. That's not all the
right. It was that kind of bullshit.
Yeah. So actually, really, really interesting. And another point that I thought was funny that Tom said, and I'm going to take it out of context because he didn't really say it in this, but it was funny and he can explain it. But he was like, I'm actually a pretty smart guy.
So I told her I'm charming and smart.
But
on the record.
Yeah, it was great.
But no, because she was trying to confuse me.
It was about that issue. Trying to. It was a confusing question.
She was definitely trying to confuse me because she was trying to get me to agree to something that would have been in her favor. And it was so stupid. It was like she was trying to confuse me with her. And I'm a finance major. I understand numbers really well. It's the one thing I'm really strong with, right? I'm strong with a lot of things, but finance, I'm all over it, right? And she's asking this question. I'm like, I have no idea what the hell you're asking me.
I'm a pretty smart guy, and I was a finance major. I'm
like, I'm a finance major. I know numbers. I have no idea what the hell you're asking me right now. She tried to ask it like 3 separate times, and each time she asked it, I was getting more confused.
Yep.
And then you're like under oath. Everybody's looking at me. I'm like, I have no idea what you're asking me.
Can't you add this up, Mayor?
Jesus, man. It was one of those. It was about 330, and technically his benefits are in that. Did you know that? And I'm like, how if he gets a vasectomy, do I know that's in his compensation? I have no idea, right?
Yep. So anyway, good job. I thought you did good. And the other thing he did a good job, explaining things. Like he would, if they ask a question, he would kind of say, "Well, wait a minute, I got to kind of give you some context here." So,
yeah. But I was like
overall,
full suit, tie, shaved, the whole thing.
Did you wear your top hat?
No top hat, no
or
top
a sash.
Hat. Yeah.
No.
Was there a moment that like will go viral? You know how like the My Pillow guy?
No.
Like the lawyer called his pillows lump, and he's like, "You're a bitch."
John, I was like not giving up anything yesterday. I was like very conscientious the whole time. I was like thinking about my answers.
And by the way, John, the fact that there isn't anything that I believe would go viral is actually a good thing for the case.
Yeah,
I think that
I want out.
shows that that actually I don't think there's what Spiros thinks is there.
I think the whole case against CVB, personally, I think it's all bogus. And I think me being involved in this is ridiculous. It's done with a mean-spirited intent on Spiros' part to drag me into litigation so that he could slander me in the press and intimidate me out of my civil rights. And let me ask you a question, Kevin. A lot of times when people have, like as mayor, if I violate somebody's civil rights, Joe, so let's say we arrest you, Joe, and we beat the crap out of you, right? And we throw you in jail. Okay, just so I arrest Jill.
Imagine this, Jill.
Beat the crap out of you, and I throw you in jail. Okay, and it's all over nothing. All right, and then we find out after we mistook you for somebody else, we apologize, and we let you out. You could sue the city of Hammond for Section 1983 violation of your civil rights. All right, and those are lucrative cases. And anybody that's in my position knows what a 1983 case is, and they're not fun to be involved in. Right. So let me ask you, Mr. Attorney Kevin, my co-attorney, my fellow attorney.
In a deposition under the lights here.
Now, Spiros used the power of his office against me, denying me of my civil rights. If I'm done with this and I'm dropped from this case, do I have any recourse, 1983 recourse?
Whoa.
I don't think you have 1983 recourse. A couple things I would say is that Spiros filed, just like I think
personally,
to clarify things here. He didn't file with the power of his office. He filed as an individual
after he was out.
Yeah,
so
after
that's what
his
the difference
contract
is, right?
wasn't renewed. I think that's one important difference. And two, you do have an anti-SLAPP case pending, which is the ability for, like, if in Mayor's example where he gave George, as the person that was getting sued, the person getting sued can actually recover attorney fees from the person who sued him if their First Amendment rights were violated.
We've been successful as lawyers with a case like this previously, right? Involving different people.
Yeah. Involving. You don't
need to go into
No, I'm not going to. I'm just saying involving some statements involving accusations of criminal activity.
And we got the elected official in that case to have to pay the attorney fees for your client, correct?
That's correct.
So, like, using the same logic in this case with me against Spiros, we filed the same type of motion against Spiros so that if I'm successful, Spiros would have to pay the city of Hammond's attorney fees, which are significant. Mm-hmm. I would say approaching six figures.
Yeah, they would have to pay not the city, because city's also a party right now. But
I'm being covered.
I would say you. No, I'm saying you, because you said the cities. It's your.
Well, I'm dragged in.
Yeah. It's the fees that are attributable to you.
Right.
Exactly.
Which are not to the Convention Visitors Bureau and stuff like
that. Correct.
Right.
Or the city. Right. So it's to you. So yeah.
But like they're significant. I don't know what they are, but they're significant. They're not. Spiros won't be happy if we win this motion because he's going to have to pay for my attorneys. And I was sitting next to two attorneys being paid by the city of Hammond for a significant amount of time during a deposition. That's just one small part. We've had motions, we've had discovery, we've had meetings. It's like my legal bills, if we win this motion, I don't think Spiros would be very happy.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously the termination's up to the federal court, and we'll see what happens. So, all right, well, good. Just again, good job yesterday.
Thanks. I'm glad it's over.
Yes.
I was like, I got out of there, Kev. I was sweating, and I don't sweat.
Well, those are.
You're sweating.
I would not do well under those conditions.
It was because like everybody's looking at you.
Please don't sue me.
Everybody's like looking at you.
You're on video.
You're in a room like this, one table, everybody's looking at you. You got a video person, you got a court reporter, multiple attorneys, you got people on TV watching you, and it's like everything's focused on you. And I got out, and I was just like, my suit was just like.
I was just gonna say, it's not like you're unfamiliar to be in a situation where everyone's looking at you. I mean,
I have a special advantage there.
Yes. You
Right.
are the mayor. And
Right.
you are a lot of times in front of a lot of people who are either
angry
at you.
Oh, yeah. I've been in front of angry people focused on me, and it's not fun, but it's definitely good training for when I'm getting deposed.
If his firm is watching right now, do you have any hey, it was nice. You guys were nice people yesterday. Any messages to them?
His lawyer was a nice lady. I was prepared for a lot worse than it turned out. I thought she was. I was super charming though. I walked in and shook Kevin, tell me I wasn't. Did you walk in and shake everybody's hand and introduce you? No. Because I'm charming. I was charming yesterday.
Yes.
Even with the people suing me, even with the people working there. I was talking to the janitor for a long time. I was in charming mode.
Talking to the janitor.
I was in charming mode.
During the break.
Right?
Yes. It's you speaking to the maintenance
You
man.
know the difference when I'm being charming and when I'm just being,
Yep.
calm. I
Did a
was
good
being
job.
charming Tom yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I told you he was charming.
I said it on the record. I pointed it out for people. I'm a very charming person.
Chris Jones just said that when it's over, you should celebrate it off square.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my gosh. We still haven't, done that.
gone out there.
I know.
We got to do that.
I know.
Good job, Chris.
We got to.
Steve has tried. In
yes,
his defense, Steve's
yes.
been texting like, "When are we
I see
going?
that.
When are we going? When are we going?"
There's a bit, and I'm unsure of where you guys want me to go with this.
Oh, this is interesting because
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
What is
Because
it?
either
Explain this to me. I don't know what's interesting about this.
I think it's just you should be more. You know how Lindsay is always like, why don't you you don't do this for me, you don't do that for me, and you're like, you're on your own, you're married.
Yeah.
So we have
She's
a
31 years
we,
old.
we have
Like, what am I supposed to do that I don't?
We
What
have
am I
this-
supposed to do that I don't here?
So we have this chat, this text chat that goes. It's called left to center, and Jill's not on it because she's an Android.
Fucking Android
Per
user.
usual.
Android.
But Lindsay's on
Perfect
it. I'm
example
on
of
it,
how
Steve's on it.
how you're out of the loop if you have an Android.
Agree.
I
By the
know,
way,
right? This
You
is our-
elitist.
you green bubble.
maybe that's why you got beat up by the cops. You're Android.
Do you have an Android?
You have an
Bring your
Android?
ass over here.
Give me- so
Oh,
when-
I'm going to retire then.
So anyway, we have this chat going on in text, and there's an art. We share articles and stuff. And I sent an article that was a follow up. If you
Like
listen,
show ideas.
yeah, right. Show ideas, this idea, and it was an article about. We had it earlier in the year about cold medicines don't work, and this was like a follow up article to that. I was like, oh, this might be funny. And Lindsay immediately texts back and says, boy, that would be great to see it's under a paywall. And I was like, wait, how do you not have Apple News? And she was like, I don't have Apple News. I don't have the money
I'm a
for that.
nursing
I have Apple
student.
News.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Say that again.
I have Apple News. It's
Exactly.
great. I
Why
love
not
it.
just
You know
get her
what?
the family? Why not just get the family plan?
Exactly, John, which is what I do to my family. I allow them access.
I didn't even know there was a family plan. Take it easy, killer. I'm
So
not
here-
like the expert on.
This is what you can do for $38 a month.
So Tom's on the individual
38.
plan,
I
Right,
am
Tom's on the
individual plan.
$20 individual plan.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's true.
For
and
just a-
for $18
Marissa's
more.
probably on that same plan. Funny enough.
So you're already in double.
Hold
right?
it.
So this is what you can get for just double what you're currently paying. You could put your whole family on it.
Oh, yeah?
Tommy, Patrick, Chase, Lindsay. I think it's 5.
Wow.
Look at that. All Apple songs, Apple TV.
I'll do it because Lindsay's the oldest, so I'll cut her out.
Apple.
Everybody else.
She's the one who
She's
needs
the one
it.
who needs it. Apple News and something that you probably didn't even know about, workouts on your Apple Watch.
I didn't
Whoa.
even know what that was.
See?
Look at that. Where the hell are you guys? I finally got Apple Music, and now you guys are making fun of me because
That was
I followed
great.
your freaking
when
advice.
you didn't have Apple Music. Well, now, but you should just add other people on so it's cheaper.
I didn't know these things exist.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm
Gotta
not
do
doing
it.
it though.
You're not going to get.
Don't do
Sorry,
it.
Lindsay. You don't have
do it.
access to Apple
Dude,
News.
you know what, Jill? Kids nowadays, they don't have enough responsibility the way I see
You got
it.
to grow up.
Grow up.
Pay for
you
your
you
own
think my
Apple
dad
News.
paid for my own shit when I was in the Navy? No, I can tell you.
But you weren't on a podcast with your dad.
Dude,
we
when
need
I was
Lindsay
in,
to have
yeah,
it.
when I was in the Navy, I was poor as hell, and I didn't ask for anything because I was told not to join the Navy, and I did.
Oh.
So when I was in the Navy and I was hating life, do you think I called Daddy for help? Hell no.
Hmm.
I didn't have Apple News either when I was on the submarine. How about that?
Can you remind us your initial paycheck at the U.S. Navy?
I know what my last one was. I made right around $20,000 a year.
Your
my
last one.
year.
6 years in.
I had Lindsay.
With all your qualifications like scuba and
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
20.
Like 21, 22 in that ballpark.
And that was with
my
the
last
extra
year.
100 for being on the submarine.
That was my last year in the Navy. That's how poor I was.
Damn.
I didn't call Daddy for help. I
Congratulations.
didn't have to. Dad, I want Apple Music. I didn't do that shit. Okay.
Wait. Okay.
All right, I'm canceling. All right, I'm canceling the family plan as soon as it shows
Lindsay's
over.
gonna be pissed when she gets here Tuesday.
I have a tip for Lindsay. So
Uh-oh.
I used to have Apple News, and I didn't like the news it was giving me, so I got rid of it.
It's called an algorithm.
No, you like
I
click
thought
what
you
you want,
choose.
Kevin, right?
Yeah.
But still, it didn't have the sites that I wanted to read my news.
I got
from.
it. Wall Street Journal, everything on my
Newsmax.
Yeah,
Didn't have Newsmax.
There was no
available
Zero
for John.
Hedge,
Oh, boy.
stuff like that. Anyway, so here's what you do, Lindsay. You uninstall Apple News on your iPhone. You delete it. When Kevin sends an Apple News link, you click it, and it'll open up the original article from whatever site it's from.
Really?
No way.
Yes.
Look at that.
Yes.
Good
All
job,
right.
John.
Every month you create a new email
John's gotta work
address
around.
and you do the free monthly trial
Yeah.
every month.
This is Jill's plan.
Yeah.
See, so for
That's what they
people
do
out
in the
there-
Android.
So for the techies out there, we just gave you a tip on how to save your family money.
From our wonderful producer, John Vesma.
I guarantee you, Marissa and I are both on the individual plan, paying more than we would if we did.
Exactly.
That's
Bingo.
crazy.
Bingo.
Now
Look
you,
at that.
now
I'm
you,
just wasting money.
you got it.
You're
But
a
you know what?
finance guy.
I'm pretty smart.
These are
usually.
numbers.
That's your thing.
But Tom, you got to be careful what you share if you do a family plan. Next thing you know, you're clicking like share photos,
My
share
nudes.
text.
My nudes. Hold it. So Lindsay's gonna be
Can
able
they
to see
see
my
your
nudes.
history?
Exactly.
right.
All the nudes
Is
you
that
send
true?
Marissa.
Like she's gonna see my nudes?
It may. I don't like this sharing crap, man.
Really? Does that work?
No.
Because
it's
Kevin talk
not.
about nudes on his phone. Kevin's got hundreds of them.
many.
Jana's had access to his news. She's just not saying anything.
Yeah.
She's keeping it secret.
She keeps on saying, I'm not feeling good again. My stomach. I feel like I want to throw up again.
Oh, no. Poor Janet. Does she watch or listen?
No.
She
Oh, no,
does.
she does on,
She does.
on road trips.
She does.
She does on road.
She-
She catches
she-
up on
she
road
catches
trips.
up on road trips.
Yeah. She'll probably listen today.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead. Remind you again, today's episode's been brought to you by Byway Brewing, our title
Apple.
sponsor.
Apple. Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Kuklakis Law. Are you currently navigating legal complex issues? Unsure of where to turn for guidance? Your search ends here with Kuklakis Law, your trusted partner for legal solutions in Indiana and in Illinois. Whether you're seeking expert representation for real estate transactions, whether you need assistance in forming your business, or you've experienced a personal injury at work or in a car crash, Kuklakis Law is here for you. No matter the nature of your legal issue, their team is ready to help. Call Kuklakis Law today at 219-671-6347 to schedule your free consultation. Hablamos Español.
Rogers Roofing. When you demand nothing but the best for your home and family, trust the industry leader, Rogers Roofing. For over 54 years, they've been transforming homes in Northwest Indiana and Chicago. Their commitment to quality shines through in their roofing, siding, gutters, and windows, all backed by the most comprehensive warranties in the business. Visit our website at rogersroofing.com or call 219-933-9145 to schedule your free consultation. That's Rogers Roofing or 933-9145. And remember, at Rogers Roofing, excellence is expected every time.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon. Tortillas Nuevo Leon sets the gold standard in Mexican cuisine across the Midwest. Look for their iconic red and white label at your local grocery store. Indulge in the finest Mexican products crafted with local expertise and savor the taste of authenticity. Discover the flavors of Tortillas Nuevo Leon today.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón.
Power in Indiana, Lake County. IBEW Local 697 and NECA proudly introduce Power in Indiana, Lake County. With over a century of experience, they've been safely wiring the region. From powering corporations along the lakefront to lighting up homes across the region, Power in Indiana, Lake County is your trusted source for electrical professionals. Visit 697jatc.org. That's 697jatc.org to join us as we continue to light the way for Northwest Indiana. All right. We have a really cool story here. This is something I experienced as mayor, and there's been some litigation over social media and elected officials. And this is a really good, there's a case going to U.S. Supreme Court that's going to basically answer the question, can elected officials block people on their personal social media pages?
Yeah, it's a really interesting case. And I think, again, like, you know, the cool thing is we've kind of been talking about First Amendment a lot. So this also is, you know, kind of dovetails right into First Amendment rights. And
right.
In this case, it's about whether or not, you know, a public official, or I don't even know if it's a public official, right? I mean, that's part of the issue is like, what defines somebody who can or cannot
official?
block?
Is
So in
that-
this case, it's a town manager,
Right, you're right.
right? So then, like, does a town manager have different rights?
Public officials to block critics. That's what it
Yeah,
says.
versus
Yeah.
like an elected official. I don't. That's
Good
a question
question.
I think that may come out of this.
So in this case, like Kevin said, it's a town manager has, in this case, a gentleman named Mr. Lindke,
Port Huron, Michigan, I believe.
Port Huron, Michigan. And Kevin Litke, like George that I mentioned earlier, is a frequent critic of the city manager, shows up to all the meetings, constantly criticizing the city manager in Port Huron, Michigan. Lidke, the plaintiff in this case, began posting comments on the town manager's page at the beginning of COVID-19 pandemic because he found information there that was not available elsewhere. The local, his name is Mr. Freed, the plaintiff, the gentleman that was blocked, was putting policy. Freed said the town manager was putting out policy directive, issuing press statements about COVID-19, and it was the only place the information was being relayed to the community.
So Freed's the town manager. Yes. Lindke is the plaintiff. He's the gadfly, I guess they describe him as, in Port Huron.
So basically they're saying that the town manager is putting out COVID information during the pandemic on his personal Facebook page. And Freed says, Lidke, the gadfly, says it's the only place he can get that information is off the town manager's website. Now, you talk to the town manager, and he says he's not an elected official, that his Facebook page is his personal Facebook page, and it dates back to his college years. He says the town manager says he's maintained the page at his home on his personal computer, and that constituent information that he put on Facebook was already public through the city's communications.
It's almost like reposting. Maybe.
He's reposting COVID information on his personal site, right? Okay. So he's like, this is not the only place you could have received this information. I was reposting basically. 80% of the posts for the town manager are personal family photos, pictures of his dog. He says he's a foodie, so he likes to show pictures of where he goes out to eat. And then he also points out, the town manager, it's not uncommon to have people with mental health challenges target public officials, he observes. But he's always considered his page personal and under his control. This is what town manager says. Had I thought for a moment that this page was public and that I didn't control it, I would have never posted photos of my little girl or of my wife. So clearly this person's putting pictures of his wife. It's personal, but he's also putting town business on there. The town gadfly says that basically you can't block me because I can't see the town manager's information, and if you're putting COVID information, I can't access it here. The town manager says, yeah, you can't access it on my account, but because I blocked you, but you can go to the town website and get the same information.
Yeah, and the guy said he sued Freed for the guy said he sued the town manager for blocking his comments in what amounted to a government Facebook page. So
right.
The question
let's go a step further here. I'm an elected official. I have Facebook account, Twitter. Well, I used to have Twitter before I was knocked off. Mm-hmm. I block people because I had somebody put a dick on my page one time, a picture. Yeah, people put gross
someone's
things.
Nudes.
They put just gross things on my. They say things. They talk about you. They go out, after my wife. They on my personal Facebook page. I don't want my mom to see that. My mom's on that site.
And by the way, there is a Go Hammond Facebook page where people are not blocked.
Right. And I do sometimes post stuff from Go Hammond on my site, but if you want to go to Go Hammond, you can put all kinds of stuff about me on there. We can't block you because that's a city page, city Facebook, city. So people do post stuff on there. They post stuff about me, about the council people. We can't do anything there. On Tom McDermott's page, I'll block you in a second. In a freaking second. You do anything wrong on my page, you're done. I don't care.
Jill?
There's nothing better than blocking people.
I love it. No, I'm serious. Better. Why would I? It's my page. My mom's on there. My kids are on there. I'm not going to let somebody. It's like coming into my house. You come into my house and you call me a name. Get the hell out of my house, right?
Interesting analogy.
This is my house. Tom McDermott's Facebook page. Yeah, sometimes I put politics on there, but sometimes I put Notre Dame stuff, Cubs stuff. Sometimes I put my pictures of my kids.
So just objectively, if I asked you this question, how would you answer it? If I said, Tom, do you consider your Tom McDermott Facebook page personal or government?
It's personal, for sure. And who is Tom McDermott? I'm a person that loves politics. Mm-hmm. I'm also a person that loves sports. And I love to read. And I like food. And I like my family.
And you happen to be the mayor.
And I'm also the mayor. And so, if you look at my Facebook page, it's a perfect example of who I am. I'm a lot of politics, but also I have a lot of things about my family and just...
Yeah, I think this is a really interesting case. And I guess in my gut, I feel like the court should come down in favor of the public officials, whether elected or not, that happen to be posting official information on their Facebook page, but they also post stuff about their dog and their wife and their family and their kids and Notre Dame and their books they're reading. And I mean, it just seems like it's a personal page.
So I'm sorry, Joe.
So what happens if they change their privacy settings to friends only? Because you can change that. It sounds like this guy's got a public setting for his.
Well, that's a good interesting point because it's almost like the flip though, because then the question becomes, can an elected official restrict access to their personal Facebook page so that people other than they choose cannot access it? That's a great point, Jill. And
Thank you.
Even though as an Android user, that's a very good point.
Wow.
But no, I think that
derogatory.
because that could really be the next step. Like, oh well, you have to leave it open for everyone then. What, I mean, if you're a public official, what's it going to do to you? What's your decision about, like, do I want a Facebook page?
I'm going to take my social media down. If they tell me I have to let assholes that I hate and that hate me, they have to be able to have free access to my Facebook account, I'll pull all my social media down. There's no way. And then what you're going to see is in an era where we are already having trouble finding people running for elected office, this is just one more huge reason not to run for elected office. So you're going to keep electing unqualified assholes to hold positions of power. And because we're making it miserable. Yeah. If you become mayor or councilman or commissioner or
in your little town in Michigan,
right? And then somebody wants to post a picture of a dick on your Facebook page, you got to let it sit there proudly. That's a moronic viewpoint. It's my personal Facebook page, right? And so, I mean, and by the way, Trump, for all those fans of Trump out there, Trump blocks people all the time on Twitter. He talks about it, as did I. Somebody would call me up and say, Mayor, you can't block me on Facebook. And I said, okay. And I block them, right? Immediately.
Challenge.
Right? Okay. I just did. Like, what the fuck are you going to do now, right? I just blocked you, right? So what happens at that point? The only thing they could do at that point is sue me. And then we'll go to court and I'll explain to the judge why I blocked this person because they put vulgar pictures on they call me names. They're coming into my personal Facebook page and like trying to take it over. And I'm not going to let it happen.
So you wonder how this got to the Supreme Court and the Sixth Circuit, which encompasses Michigan and other states. They found that the town manager's Facebook page was personal and that he did not use his government authority to maintain it. And therefore he was not using his office to block the gadfly. And so this is the interesting thing here, and is where does this fall, and what are the kind of factors that each side is trying to say? And I thought this was interesting. The local government's position before the Supreme Court in their brief is that they want the justices to set out a clear standard that's easy to apply, so that local officials understand what the rules are and when they might be liable. And they kind of lay it out as: one, does the local government own the social media account?
Right.
In your case?
No. That's my personal account.
Does it authorize or require creation of the account?
Does City Hammond require me as mayor to have a Facebook, Twitter account? No.
Okay. And does the account utilize government resources?
No.
Okay.
I consider myself working 24/7 for the taxpayers.
Sure.
That's how I approach my job. But no, I mean,
that's it. So that's
it's on my, most of it's done on my phone or on my, so like I don't do it at work. It's like I have rules I follow.
Sure. But even if you did post something at work, big deal. I mean, I don't think that means that you can.
I don't really, honestly, I don't use government computers very often. I use my phone, which is political. I always make sure my political.
But even if you did put something political on your personal Facebook page, that doesn't mean
I'm allowed to have opinions.
Of course you are.
Right.
It's the same thing in the lawsuit with Spiros. You're allowed to have opinions.
I do,
right?
And I have a lot of opinions, by the way.
So the plaintiff's argument, the person that was blocked, says that when public officials invoke the trappings of their office on social media, they can't suppress the speech of their critics. One of the key aspects of this case is that Mr. Freed, who's the plaintiff, was talking to the public as a city the manager was talking to the public as a city manager.
Because he's the city manager.
Right.
That happens.
Yep.
When I talk to the public, I'm the mayor. Yeah.
And so the argument is that the town manager was essentially performing his job by answering their questions about the services that the city was providing. So in other words, they're saying that like he posted something and then the town manager replied back with an official answer.
Let me tell you about stuff that happens to me on Facebook.
Sure.
People know that they could reach out to me on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I try not to answer them because if I start answering people on Facebook, I
people that don't get answered, like, why didn't you answer me?
I have 15,000 people that follow me, and I'm tapped out at 5,000 friends. So there's 20,000 people that all they have to do is go on their phone, and they have instant access to me. And so I have an inbox that's just overflowing with people. Just some of them are super nice.
Facebook Messenger.
Some of them turn into mailbag for the show. They're constantly coming through. Yeah, no, I mean, I mine it for good stuff. It's a good letter. I bring it on the show, right? But it's just constantly going through there. I forgot the point.
I'm just gonna. I guess where do you kind of fall? I know the answer to this, but I want you to.
Mm-hmm.
I want our listening and viewing audience.
I love using social media so I can keep in touch with family and friends. Honestly, it would break my heart if I had to pull all my social media down. But there's no way in hell I'm going to allow people that I hate access to my social media. So my mom and my family in California are going to see
And your kids.
the local jerks that I have to deal with in my job. I don't want that to happen. So what'll happen is if the U.S. Supreme Court comes out with this and they say that I have to allow access to my social media page, I'll pull down all my social media, and people won't be able to contact their mayor as easy. It's like I have easy access. This is transparency. This gives people easy access to understand what's going on with people like myself. And what the justices are going to do if they rule this way is they'll eliminate that easy access.
It'll have a chilling effect.
You're not going to have the president of the United States Twitter account anymore. He's not going to allow people to put stuff up on there. Like, we're not going to have the stuff that we've become accustomed to.
Well, I think that's important to point out, though. Like when Trump was slapped down regarding this, it was.
He didn't change his ways, though.
No. But I think the difference is that in that case, the White House staff was accessing and posting on the page.
Good point.
And the
They
White House
literally
staff
right.
on official federal devices had access to the
Good
page.
point. So that's a lot different.
Yeah, I think it's a lot
But
different.
still,
You're posting on your personal cell
But
phone.
isn't it nice that, and I'm giving Trump some credit here, I guess.
Yeah.
Isn't it nice, and Obama and Biden, isn't it nice that we have presidents with Twitter accounts and with access to social media so that they can put stuff out and it reaches people like in their 20s who are usually disconnected from government? Isn't that a good thing?
It is. And I think as much as I have totally was just like had anxiety ridden a lot of times for what Trump was putting out there. I mean, he put it out there.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, you know, and when
better or for worse, it's out there.
He's on Truth Social. He does what he says.
And
what's
going to happen if this goes the wrong way, if the justices go the wrong way? Keep in mind, by the way, the justices are also facing similar problems. Justices have people show up to their houses.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
what?
that happened.
So, like, wait a second, Your Honor. If you guys say that I have to allow people access to my Facebook page, that means we could protest in front of your house, right? It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I could go hang out in front of Justice Scalia's house and protest and piss off his neighbors because it's the First Amendment. God freaking bless the First Amendment.
Right. Well, I think that happened. They let people do that.
But they also made that illegal, I thought. Didn't they recently do something about protesting in front of justices' houses?
Don't know if
because
they did
it's become a
I know
problem?
they did. I know that they.
And it's clearly a First Amendment.
I know that there were protests in front of like Kavanaugh's house or in his neighborhood. I don't know what they did in response to that. Good
I
question.
thought they did something.
Good question. Yeah,
so
got to look into that. Well,
this is a big case.
Really interesting case. If you are like a total law nerd or just interested in this case, you can actually go on the Supreme Court.
I think
United States Supreme Court's website next Tuesday and listen to the argument.
This case affects most Americans.
More importantly, can I block people on the Pavilion site?
No.
No, you can't. I mean, honestly, though, Jill, that's a great
Good
question.
point.
Because that's different. That's a clear government site.
It's a venue.
I know.
Yeah, but it's still
government.
uses
It's
government resources. It's
government.
Yeah, official government.
But
But
if there's
like
like a death threat or something, you
Well,
tell me
I mean,
you can't do it.
so
You can't
okay,
mute this
so
person?
not to get
That's
too
a
far
good
in the
question.
weeds, not to get too far in the weeds, John, but there are limits to the First Amendment, right?
Right.
You can't shout
Shouting
fire in
the
a crowded
theater.
theater, right?
Right.
So that I think could be blocked and taken down.
Something over the top.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
But like, if
What
the
if-
same person was posted on Jill Gajewski's site,
Like a dick.
Like a
put
put
picks
those
are
on
frowned
the
upon.
bike trail where they belong.
Oh, God.
job.
Stop,
Good
Jill.
job.
No. Don't encourage people.
Jill said to do it.
It's been a while.
I don't know.
As they're getting arrested.
So, interesting case. Listen next Tuesday. It's going to be good.
A decision in this case expected by the summer. So enjoy social media with your elected officials, because if this case goes the wrong way, you're going to see them all get off social media. I mean, I predict that.
Or like
That'll
really
be-
not post much at all, right? I mean, why?
I'll be off. If they say I have to allow access, I blocked hundreds of people.
And
Hundreds of people.
And actually, by what Jill just mentioned, I wonder if it's going to be like, well, you can't block people, but you can limit access by just saying friends and family.
That's blocking.
Yeah.
God forbid if you have friends or family and you put something out that has anything to do with your job, then you open the door back up, right? Stupid. This is a dumb case, but hopefully hopefully the U.S. Supreme Court sets it right. And like Kevin said, if it's heavily mandated, if it's mandated and required as part of your job, if you have government resources going into it, I think that you should not be able to block in that case.
factors.
But if
yeah.
it's a personal, like it is in my case, like it is in a lot of elected officials' cases, it should be allowed to be personal, just like your house.
Yeah, I agree with
I
you.
don't. My house, just because I live in the mayor's house, doesn't mean anybody can walk into my house. I still have property rights. I still have rights.
It's not
to
the
that
White
house.
House.
It's not the White. But you can't walk in the White House either,
You know,
or the governor's
You can go
mansion,
visit if you're.
or the governor's mansion.
True.
You have
Yeah,
rights.
good point.
Well,
Well, it's the difference between like the Go Hammond site and the Tom McDermott site, right? I mean, that's what we're saying.
we block all day on Tom McDermott.
Yep.
I imagine.
Yeah, I don't know.
We could,
you
though.
tell me.
Yeah, man. Like if somebody wants to be a jerk to me on social media, they're
You
blocked.
should have every right to be.
Like,
to
why do I
block
want to
them.
wake up or worry about what people are going to put on my site? Worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my mom looks at it every day.
She does.
And then she's like, why does this person hate you so much? It's like, I don't want to deal with this stuff, right?
Get it.
That's why I don't want my family to see it. I don't want my kids to see it. I don't want my little kid going to school worried about his dad because there's a freaking psycho pissed off at me because it rained too much last week. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want my kid to have to worry. It's bad enough I have to worry about it.
That's
but
right.
Patrick's got to worry about it because he saw my Facebook page. It's insane. This is an insane case. I hope the U.S. Supreme Court gets it right because if they don't, you're going to see every elected official in America get off social
I think
media.
they will. I think they will.
I do too,
So.
actually.
All right, let's do some ads. Also, of course,
That was a
thank you
good story, wasn't it?
It was really good.
I liked it,
Thank
too.
you to Byway Brewing as our episode sponsor, and we're going to do some more ads and come back
By the way,
to the gift that keeps on giving, Todd Rakita.
Todd Rakita. But Byway Brewing just got a big award. I just read about it in the paper.
Didn't
and
see that.
Didn't commit it to memory because I didn't have
Was it
enough
because
time.
they're sponsors on Lockpod?
Yes. No. It was. They got a beer award just recently. It was in today's paper.
Nice.
So
Congrats.
yeah, congrats to Byway Brewing, today's episode sponsor. They're
Good
getting all kinds
timing.
getting all kinds of recognition.
Was that on Apple News?
Yeah, it was behind a paywall, though.
It was on the Times, actually. Misprint Printing. Elevate your brand with Misprint, the premier printing and sign solution in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. With a 30-year legacy of excellence, their experienced team, led by Rick Baltensberger, combines innovation and technology to deliver top-quality signs and printing, always on time, always within budget. Visit them at misprintusa.com to bring your vision to life today. Misprint, your partner for creating impactful visual solutions.
Cantrell and Cantrell, attorneys at law. When you're facing legal challenges or injuries, they're here to guide you through the process. Their dedicated team, including John and Kristen Cantrell, is in the court and in the jail every day, ready to fight for your rights. Call John Cantrell at 219-554-4LAW or visit their website at bettercallcantrell.com and discover how they can make a difference in your case.
There you go, John and
Soundboard.
Kristen. Manual soundboard. Calumet Brewing, Busch Light, the coldest and smoothest light lager, is calling you to embrace the great outdoors, the roar of NASCAR, and the joy of cracking a cold one. Celebrate life's moments with Busch Light. And then head over to Cal Brew on Facebook or Instagram for a chance to win a Busch Light Igloo Cooler. Visit Busch.com and their social media pages for exciting updates and events. Head for the mountain of Busch Light and enjoy beers and cheers responsibly.
For decades, the Ron J. Prestomer Insurance Agency has been your trusted neighbor right on Indianapolis Boulevard, serving all your insurance needs. The Prestomer Insurance Company's wide range of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, and life insurance, has helped over 1,000 individuals and businesses throughout the Chicagoland area. Call Ron or Ronnie today at 219-844-0103. That's 219-844-0103. They're here to protect what matters most to you. All right.
Thanks to our sponsors.
Thanks to our
episode
sponsors.
sponsor, Byway Brewing.
Byway Brewing, award-winning
Nice.
Hammond microbrewery.
What's
Still
going on
waiting on
with
that breakfast.
I love their breakfast. It's off the menu. You have to cater it. It's ridiculously good, Joe.
Is that what we're getting for our holiday party?
Wham. For
For
Wham.
the holiday party?
Are we not? Oh, are we not having a Lockpod holiday party? Okay.
I was like,
Tom's
can I
like,
like something?
Okay.
What holiday party?
That's a good idea.
At Off Square Brewing.
Let's do that.
Great.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Good job,
Do we have
Joe.
any money?
No.
All right.
we got to buy soundproofing.
Someone started
Dude.
GoFundMe for us.
Yeah.
Lockpod got a big bill. The freaking new studio is expensive, man.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're up
Gonna
in
be there soon
we're up
enough.
in the price of ads.
No, we're not. We all of a sudden we have one sponsor.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
The committee to elect,
it's the
Thomas M. McDermott
soundproofing.
Jr.
That's bad. What's that, John?
It's the soundproofing company as the sponsor.
Yeah,
After
right.
we give that
Yeah,
some money.
right.
The insulation company, right?
If it wasn't for Todd Rakita, our shows would probably be only 45 minutes long. But you're usually an hour and 10 because of Todd Rakita. So thank you, Todd Rakita.
It's funny. I can
That's
see it
general.
on the table. State AG find over TV comments right there on the post.
Oh, yeah.
We have a problem in Indiana with our attorney generals.
At least the last two seem
Attorneys
to be getting
General?
themselves in a little bit of a pickle.
Attorneys general.
If that is the correct
Attorney
term.
Generals?
No,
Attorneys
attorneys.
general. Yeah.
That's right.
Whoa.
That's why you call him General.
I always call him general because it's just hilarious.
That was like
Attorneys.
Zeller, right?
Zeller. Because Zeller's such a cool guy. He's a super nice. And he was the last one that wasn't like
Didn't get
trouble.
in trouble with the
Like
disciplinary
the
commission.
last one that wasn't in trouble was Attorney General Zeller, and he's a super nice guy. He's a Southern Indiana guy. He's a real sweetheart. He's a Republican, obviously, but a real sweet guy from Southern Indiana. Got a drawl. He's always like smiling and happy. And every time I saw him, and he's like not super imposing figure.
No, nice
Physically,
guy.
like small framed. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just like I'm bigger than him. And it's like, not that it matters, but what I'm saying is you see him and I always go up and I'm like, hey, General, how's it going? It just like cracked me up every time. And he sort of laughed too. I don't know how many people called him General, but I always called him General.
And the reason you did that is because that's the appropriate
I asked him. I'm like,
title.
How does one
Address an
Attorney General? Do you? And he goes, actually, you call him General. And I'm like, from that point on, every time I saw him, it's like, hey, General, how's it going? That is a badass title.
Do you have
For
to
an attorney,
salute
yeah.
him?
What's that?
Do you have to salute him?
No,
Oh.
but that would be a good add-on.
There you go.
There's no attorney gets to be called general except the attorney general.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty cool.
So once Zeller leaves office, shit started going bad in Indiana Attorney General's office.
Oh, we had General Hill.
General Hill comes in and gropes 4 women and gets booted from office, basically.
Well, no, he got suspended 30 days.
Suspended 30 days.
With automatic reinstatement.
Let me, first off, attorneys don't get...
What? 30 days.
Usually attorneys don't get into trouble with disciplinary commission.
I mean, knock on wood. You hope not, right? Yeah.
98% of attorneys don't ever get in trouble with the disciplinary commission in their career, right?
I'm sure that,
Kevin?
I would think that's probably accurate, yeah.
I mean, how many attorneys that actually ever had a problem with the disciplinary commission?
I would say a few.
A few.
Yeah.
But far more that didn't.
Sure. That's
all.
accurate.
That's the point. I'm not trying to dig into who got in trouble.
No, I
I'm just
know.
trying to point out that usually you can go a whole career without getting in trouble from the disciplinary commission.
Yeah, I mean, the disciplinary commission is just kind of like this spooky thing that's out there. So that's maybe why I'm a
and
little bit
what's out there.
that's
That's why you're
like,
being.
I know,
I realize they're spooky. I
I'm
realize
not doing
they're out
anything
there.
wrong here.
By the way, I'm going to get into it. So you can go a whole career without ever getting in trouble. So you would think that the attorney general, the highest attorney that's elected in the state of Indiana, would be exemplary, right? These people are like top of the heap attorneys, obviously never going to get in trouble, obviously just like a role model for all attorneys across the state. So we bring in General Carter. He comes in.
It's General Carter.
General Hill.
Oh, Hill, yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? What's
Curtis
his
Hill.
first name? Thank you, Curtis
We
Hill.
brought in General Hill, and he grew up 4 women. And
4? I thought it was 1.
No, 4.
Jeez.
One of them was
Wasn't that, what were the? I think the allegations were several women. I'm not sure the number, but then
It was
I think
4.
they're okay.
I remember.
Okay.
I know the story pretty well.
All right.
It was at a Cine Die.
Yeah,
Sine
sine
die?
die. That's what
Sine
they
die
say. I don't know
party?
if that's the correct Latin.
Wait, 4 in the same night?
Yeah.
Wow, he was
Whoa!
no,
yeah, he was.
no.
it was one on the same night. No, you're right. One on that night.
No.
Oh God,
Well,
another
talk,
lawsuit.
I'm
dude.
just trying
This
to
is
think.
a podcast.
No, I'm
Like-
thinking. I'm
You're
like,
just
I
correcting.
Thought,
It's
no,
like-
no, because if I remember right, there was like a press
One-
conference, and
that
then like,
that night was just one. It was the state rep.
okay,
We don't need to get into details. I don't want to like.
and then there were
divulge.
allegations that other women brought out. I want
My
to say at a
bad.
press
You're right,
conference,
Kevin.
and they like kind of said
Exactly.
like I was a staffer.
They
I
started
was
comparing.
this,
They
or-
started comparing notes.
Right.
The 4 women, and they were like all had similar stories.
Yeah, I wasn't
night-
not talking. I was thinking.
No. I'm sorry, and I apologize. I didn't mean to
trying to
correct you on
remember.
there. But what I'm saying is,
Talk,
Dude,
boy.
it was the same
no,
night.
like you were like no.
It
And
was
I'm like,
the same night.
Oh,
4
see?
women accused Hill of groping them during a party
You're
at
right
a bar
again.
in March 2018.
Okay, well then, what were the other? But so, what were the other? Didn't other women come forward then? Maybe after that.
There's more than 4?
No, it was
Wow,
4. It was
you
4.
were right on.
They were
This
staffers.
is why I shouldn't doubt you,
Sometimes you should.
man.
But
I don't see anything else.
so
Yeah.
so these
Good
4
job.
women,
I did
these
not
4
remember it
women
that way.
sue him, and it becomes a big deal because he's getting sued for sexual misconduct by 4. And they were employees of the state. One of them was a state rep. They sue him civilly, the attorney general.
Okay, John, but see the sentence before that. In multiple women accused him of inappropriate sexual behavior. 4 women accused him of groping during a party in March. So I wonder if that's
Yeah,
kind of both. Okay.
that's
He still doesn't want to admit Tom was right.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't
no,
matter.
no,
It doesn't
I-
matter. We're like going in a rabbit hole on this.
Sure.
No, it does matter. I mean, that's kind of a shocking number.
It is.
in one night.
Yeah, I didn't. I'll be
maybe
honest.
1.
I thought Kevin was right. To be honest, when Kevin corrected me, I thought he was right. That may be wrong. That's Wikipedia, I imagine, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
I'm
doesn't
gonna
matter,
chalk it
though.
up.
You're right.
It doesn't matter, right?
Okay.
But there was 4
Moving
women
on.
that accused him. It doesn't matter when it happened. Okay.
Correct.
For goodness sakes.
Yes.
Right. And we don't need to get into IDs. Okay. But what I'm saying is, he ends up ultimately getting sued, disciplined by the Indiana Supreme Court, and he had to step down as Attorney General for a period of 30 days where he was not licensed to practice law in Indiana. Our Attorney General.
Yeah,
And so, like, we had to have a temporary Attorney General because ours groped 4 women and got suspended. You could go a whole career, Jill, without even having a complaint, much less getting suspended. And our Attorney General gets suspended. That's Curtis Hill. By the way, it's a happy ending for this story for Curtis Hill because I didn't mean to say it that way, but it is funny. The happy ending of the story for Curtis Hill is his career has come full circle. He's running for governor again. Woohoo! Curtis Hill running for governor of Indiana because sexual harassment is a badge of honor now. Like, you could grope women and get votes now, so he fits right in, Curtis Hill, right?
I like that he got 1 week vacation for each ass that he grabbed.
Wow.
What?
So interesting enough, there's a huge split in the Republican Party. Curtis Hill has a lot of supporters, and there was a floor fight between him and Rokita on who was going to get because Attorney General is nominated at the convention of each party.
Right.
It's not, and then it becomes an election at the general.
Only
so there's
in
no
November.
primary.
Only in November.
Right. There's no primary. It gets elected by the delegates at the state convention,
which is weird.
And so there was a floor fight between Hill's people and Rokita's people.
That's right.
And Rokita obviously won the floor fight because he became the nominee for the Republican Party and then won in November. But Curtis Hill has a lot of conservative support.
Wow.
And they feel like he got railroaded in that whole thing and the whole thing. So
he's running for governor. That's good news for Curtis. Happy ending for him. So, but that still doesn't get into Todd Rokita.
Right.
I think we laid the groundwork to show that the previous Attorney General was suspended for a month, but he's running for governor now. So it's all forgiven. So let's get into Rokita, Kevin.
Yeah. So if you've listened to the show, and I think season 10, maybe it was season 9, we talked about it for sure in season 9 and 10, probably a little bit. But Todd Rokita went after a OBGYN named Dr. Bernard over her public statements that she had to perform an abortion on a 10-year-old girl from Ohio who could not get an abortion in Ohio due to the post-Roe versus Wade issues that Ohio wasn't allowing abortions at the time. Came to Indiana, and then
this was
General Rokita. Yeah,
this was when it was hot,
real hot. I mean, he went on. He was
like
on Fox,
Roe versus Wade. Roe versus Wade just passed.
Correct.
Just
within
was overturned.
Weeks.
It was within a couple weeks of that because Ohio acted quicker than Indiana. Ohio, I think, reverted back to like some 1800s.
Ohio had a law on the books
from
that
like
said,
the 1800s.
It may have even been just one of those like trigger laws that said as soon as Roe versus Wade is overturned, there are no abortions in the state.
So this 10-year-old who was raped in Ohio, but after Roe versus Wade was overturned, had no options in Ohio. So lucky for her, Indiana hadn't acted quick enough, and they brought that little girl into Indiana to get the abortion.
Correct. And Dr. Bernard performed the abortion, and she, by all accounts, followed all the rules,
but
did
she,
all the
but
correct
she
recording.
mentioned something publicly because she did get disciplined for this, Kevin.
Yeah.
She didn't do everything perfectly. She did get disciplined by the medical boards.
Yeah, Todd Rokita tried to get her take her license away.
Yeah, he tried to get her suspended, and
and we actually put her in danger. Some of his comments did because she ended up needing security and wasn't. We saw that we couldn't even get a picture with her.
When I was on the campaign trail, Jill, she was sort of a rock star, and she's not even sort of. She was a rock star in pro-choice circles, especially post-Roe. Okay, so I'm in an event and she's there, and I want to go up and get a picture with her because I respect her. A, B, I'm running for U.S. Senate, and she's the king right now, right? And I'm like, obviously, we're on the same team. We had a great conversation. I asked her if I could take a picture and use it, and she specifically said, I cannot, Mayor. I'm sorry. I don't want people to know what I look like because General Rokita there's people that want to kill me. She had 2 huge security guards with her, and she was literally scared for her life for the better part of 6 months.
And so General Rokita kind of made some public comments that about her and about the case. And then several law professors, Don Lumberg, the former head of the disciplinary commission, wrote a complaint. Former IU dean, I think, wrote a complaint to the disciplinary commission, said, hey, the attorney general should be disciplined for his comments and what he did in this case.
Big time people, too.
Yeah.
I mean, the dean of the IU Law School. First off, IU Law School is first or second best law school in the state, depending on who you ask. I think it's second. Some people think it's first. Okay. I mean, Notre Dame and IU Law, those are the 2 best in the state, right? So the dean of the IU Law School is a badass. He writes a letter that asks for the attorney general. It was she, excuse me. Writes a letter asking that the attorney general of Indiana get disciplined. And Don Lundberg, who is a superstar in lawyer circles. This guy is the former head of the Judiciary Commission. He also writes. It's two superstars in legal circles that say Indiana Supreme Court, you got to do something about the Attorney General.
Yeah, and I think Todd Rokita all along has just maintained, like, look, I just told the truth. I gave a 16-word statement on Fox News, and it was the truth.
But he did it because he wanted to be a rock star also.
Yeah,
he wanted to
I
be,
think so.
Like Caitlin Bernard was a rock star for the pro-choice circles. Todd wanted to be the rock star in the pro-life circles, and both of them messed up a little bit, really. Because she messed up because she was disciplined. I don't think technically she followed the procedure exactly like she was supposed to. I think actually what she got hit for was more like a HIPAA violation, Kevin.
Yeah, and it was
because about the 10-year-old girl, her identity wasn't released.
Never.
But just the fact that a 10-year-old girl had an abortion was HIPAA related.
And I think people kind of tracked it down eventually and things like that. But I think, and this is the thing about...
because of the news articles and stuff, right?
And this is the thing about General Rokita is that, as someone pointed out, it's not just a technical violation of the rules. This is about abusing someone's office to hurt someone. There's a gravity to that I don't see reflected in his statement released today, and that talks about the statement that General Rokita released yesterday in response to the discipline. And I thought the really interesting thing about this is so the Supreme Court ultimately is the arbiter of the discipline. The Disciplinary Commission gives a recommendation or a suggestion, and then the Supreme Court gets to decide what happens to the lawyer. In this case, and it goes from like private reprimand, public reprimand, suspension with automatic reinstatement, suspension without automatic reinstatement, and then like disbarment, which is you lose your license, which is, the worst, of course. And in this case, he was publicly reprimanded, and it was 3-2. So there's 5 members of the Indiana Supreme Court, 3-2 with 2 members, including Chief Justice Rush and Justice Goff, I believe, said that they thought the discipline was too light and that it should have been greater because he is the Attorney General. Great. So you saw a 3-2 split on the court, and that was really, really interesting. I haven't read the full opinion yet.
So public reprimand, $250.
Mm-hmm.
Just a whole lot of nothing.
Well, I mean, no,
he's on the front page of newspapers all across the state, and it's embarrassing.
Everyone,
look
at Curtis Hill. He's running for governor now.
No, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, no attorney wants that blemish on the record. I wouldn't think. I mean,
don't know,
maybe Todd Rokita thinks it's a badge of honor.
I think he does.
Disciplined. Yeah,
I do, because he's on the front page of every newspaper across the state.
Like a martyr. Like he's a martyr.
John, do you have that photo I put in the notes? Or
I'm looking at
his statement. I think is
Post Tribune
there, so.
State AG fined over TV comments above the fold headline.
AG Rokita received reprimand.
Above the fold headline. So, this is red meat for this guy, believe me. And we're sitting in his hometown right now. He's a Munster High School kid and making the Mustangs proud, I imagine.
Yeah, Rokita said, as I said at the time, my words are factual. The IU health physician who caused the international media spectacle at the expense of her patient's privacy is by her own actions an outspoken abortion activist.
Yep.
What kind of attorney was he, or is he?
I don't know him to be practicing much.
Yeah, politician. He was politician for a long time.
He was Secretary of State. He was Congressman.
Right.
Tried to be Senate. Braun beat him.
Right.
So,
yeah.
All right.
All right. We're gonna close with, everything's closing in around Trump right now, and one of the candidates that I have a crush on in the Republican primary, I've always liked this guy, by the way, because I think him and I have similar types of styles, is Governor Chris Christie, the former governor of New Jersey.
Yeah,
you like Chris
on the Republican side, I'm a fan too.
How could I not like this guy? I mean, he's so blunt.
He's one of the few Republicans that actually has the balls to go after Trump.
He's just so blunt. He's a former federal prosecutor. Okay? That's important. First off, if you're a federal prosecutor, you're smart as hell. That's a hard job to get.
In New York and New Jersey.
Hell yeah. In New York.
In New Jersey.
I mean, you're talking about the top law school graduates get these jobs. Going and they're prosecuting Wall Street crimes and things of that nature.
Southern District, New York.
Or or organized crime or whatever. If you're a federal prosecutor in New York, if you're a federal prosecutor, period, you're a superstar. If you're a federal prosecutor in New York, you're just
look how far Rudy Giuliani has fallen.
Yeah. Well, Chris Christie, former federal prosecutor. So let's just give him this. If you're a former federal prosecutor, you understand how the system works pretty well. I think we could all agree to that.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you like what he's going to say or not, he's seen hundreds of these types of cases.
Well, he was, remember, he was the federal prosecutor that convicted Jared Kushner's dad.
Yeah, you're right. That's caused a problem in the Trump world, or else he would probably be the vice president.
I think that was a big deal as to why he did not get a position in the Trump White House.
So now Mark Meadows is Trump's former chief of staff, right?
Yes, and was the chief of staff at the end of Trump's
during January 6th.
term. Yeah, and during January 6th,
So,
absolutely.
and during the whole Georgia situation. So, Mark Meadows, it's like Kevin Smith,
He
Phil
was there.
Taylor for me, right? You guys, like, Mark Meadows and Donald Trump were the team.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Meadows took a deal with the government recently, right, Kevin?
Yeah, it's interesting. And this was I didn't think this got covered very much. When I saw it, I was like, wow, I didn't even read much about that, and I just recently caught up.
Because
But
we got it through John.
yeah,
the show idea.
Mark Meadows was granted immunity by Jack Smith in the federal case.
So what does that
not
mean,
in
lawyer?
So what that means is, as long as you testify truthfully and cooperate and help the government in their case, we will not prosecute you.
And, of course, he doesn't want to go to federal prison.
Nope.
So I'm sure he's going to be motivated to please the prosecutors, right?
Well, I mean, I think he's probably hopefully he's motivated by the truth and what he wants to do. But yes, of course,
like,
it's about
yeah, you're being idealistic.
self-preservation too.
Self-preservation.
Oh, yeah, man. Self-preservation is huge. This guy's probably
Well-
60-something years old, looking at 10, 15 years in federal prison. Yeah. You want to die in prison, or do you want to, like, work with the government?
Well, and I think federal prosecutors, and again, like you said, Mayor, all smart people, very good at what they do. Federal government doesn't lose very often, and they're good at figuring out in conspiracies how to chip away. You saw in Georgia a little bit, right? I mean, it's a state conspiracy, but you saw kind of the little actors pleading guilty,
right.
And then all of a sudden, and part of their plea agreements are you'll cooperate, you'll testify. In this, and you also grant immunity when you need to, because again, that's testimony that you're going to want.
Because they don't want the small guys.
Right.
They want, in this case, they want Trump.
Well,
they,
yeah,
they
and
could care less about Mark Meadows.
Do you want Mark Meadows to be pleading the fifth or not testifying, or
Right.
do you want Mark Meadows to
Right.
give them immunity
Right.
or give him immunity and then he testifies?
Because wait, do they get anything at the end of your career? What did you do, Mr. Prosecutor? I put Mark Meadows in prison. They're like, who the fuck is Mark Meadows, right? But if you're at the end of your career, I put Donald Trump in prison, that's a whole different.
Yeah, I mean,
prize.
sure, and I think everybody's got an ego, right? But at the same time, prosecutors have a job to do, and they want to do justice under the law and do what they're supposed to do as prosecutors. Okay, whether you believe that or not, I mean, that's what they're there to do.
The reason we're laying this groundwork is Chris Christie was on a morning show recently, and he gave about a minute answer that was so logical and absolutely brutal. We had to put it on the show.
So this is about post Mark Meadows getting immunity.
This is right after Mark Meadows agrees to cooperate with federal investigators in the Trump case.
So we're gonna just leave the show this way,
No, we'll come back just for a
All right.
second after.
So
just
stay
close
tuned.
out. Okay.
Everybody's watching needs to understand, from somebody who did this work for 7 years, you don't give Mark Meadows immunity unless the evidence he has is unimpeachable.
Oh, yeah.
And I said this yesterday. I want Republican voters to understand this. What's going to be happening in March? He's going to be sitting in a courtroom in Washington, D.C., with Mark Meadows 20 feet away from him, saying he committed crimes in front of me on my watch. This is a guy who was Velcroed to Trump's hip for the entire 2020 campaign and all the post-campaign nonsense. And so this is deadly. It's done. He's going to be convicted.
But
it's over.
God, I love that guy.
Wow.
He's so brutal.
Well,
I mean, honestly, if it's not a demo, let's say the Democratic Party couldn't get it together and lost the presidential election and this guy won.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not going to say I'd be thrilled because I'll get impeached for my party, but I don't think we'd be. I don't know because New Jersey hated this guy too. But
kind of like California doesn't like Gavin Newsom. This whole thing,
California
right?
doesn't like
My
Gavin
brother
Newsom.
and
Indiana doesn't like Eric Holcomb.
Yeah.
Hammond doesn't like Tom McDermott.
Yes, they do. No,
Yeah.
by the way, next
John,
week's your election.
John, did that excite you at all?
No, and I mean, I'm the one who sent you guys this clip.
Oh, did you?
Just for
Okay.
the sheer conversation value, because it is a very stark picture he painted, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we got to all be thinking about it from time to time, like what's coming in the future if Trump's the nomination and he's convicted. Like, how do this is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Find out.
I feel like I'm losing.
I think
you
that's
guys
why. No,
here.
I think that's why.
Like I said,
think,
like 2 words, and you guys are like, all right, let's fucking close. Let's
No,
end it.
Kevin.
Let's end the show.
Kevin wanted to end 10 minutes ago. I'll close.
No,
out.
no. I was just going to say, John. I guess what I would say in that regard is that's why I think like the DeSantis of the world and Nikki Haley's they're sticking around, right? Because they have to, because they want to. If Trump goes down, They got to.
But Christie doesn't get it. He's
Trump.
too anti-Trump messaging. He's
When
never.
Trump goes down, he may not win, John. You're
He's
right
not.
because
There's
like
no way.
Mike Pence got no
right.
traction because of Trump. Christie may get no traction because Trump hates him so much because Christie's so effective at maiming him.
But this is why Vivek is doing it right. He's like appealing to the Trump. I'm just saying.
You're right. There's got to be a replacement candidate if it's not
to
Trump.
appeal to the Trump voters.
It's the Marissa lookalike.
Nikki.
No way, dude. No way.
All right, close us
she's
so I can
nuts.
go.
Kevin's got a client waiting in court, so we got to close out.
Okay.
You can leave, Compass. Thank you. I appreciate
Close it
it.
out.
Good
I'm
job.
here. I'm
Good
not
job
leaving.
with pre-show and
Yeah.
all that. Are you in a hurry?
Go ahead.
I already lauded you. You could leave.
I know.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Thanks,
He
Joe.
just auto started his car.
Like I'm going to take
I
this.
don't
This is
have
going to be a
auto
slow
start.
leave. This is going to be a
What?
slow leave because Kevin won't leave. But thanks, Joe. We appreciate you. And sorry you're not on the text chain. But if you get Apple,
You're not.
If you get an Apple device, I'll put you right on there.
We got to
Get
get her
right
an
on
iPad.
that.
I got to get. I'll just go get a new iPad. Jvez, thank you.
Yep.
Fix the soundboard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, we got a high quality product we put out here. We can't be broken.
Yeah. It was a last minute patch.
Thanks.
We'll have it fixed Monday.
It was a great
hopefully.
show, though.
Yeah.
Thank you. And coming from the Locomotive, appreciate you. Kevin's in a hurry. I love this. So thanks for listening, everybody. Lockpod.
Kevin, what are you up to this weekend?
Yeah, right. Kevin's going to
Tailgating.
court and is on his way to court and at jail every day. All right. Thanks, everybody. Lockpod's out. See you on Tuesday.